Welcome to this channel, a channel that explores different events and projects all over the globe, but with particular attention or focus in Africa. In our today's video, it is a follow-up or a continuation of the projects in Uganda, oil projects. And now that final investment decision has been made for the projects, the pipeline project and also the development of oil fields, what next? What are the challenges that the Ugandan oil projects are facing? So we'll try to answer these questions and also cover other issues in regard to the process or the post financial investment decision. So as you continue, I would encourage you to subscribe to this channel if you have not. Also share, watch the video up to the end, leave a comment on this video and your views on the Ugandan oil project, and also hit the notification bell so that whenever we upload a new video, you are notified. So when planning for large energy projects, the entities involved must go through several stages, from planning to execution and other stages. One of the most important steps of this process is making of the final investment decision. Final investment decision is the point in an energy project where the companies or the entities which are involved now approve or sanction the project future development. The entities involved basically say to investors and the public in general, we are moving ahead with this project because we have found it to be viable, and we commit to get the necessary resources to ensure that the project is executed and starts operation. We believe that this project will make money for us in future. So that's in general what the board of directors of the companies involved are saying, that they are ready to implement the project and they have done their due diligence and found that the project is viable. So with the final investment decision, the partners progress to the execution phase of the project. For the Ugandan oil projects, the announcement of the final investment decision made a crucial step towards the implementation of the projects. The projects are needed to make Uganda join the League of Oil Producing Countries include the development of 2 oil fields in the shores of Lake Albert, that is, we have Tilenga and Kingfisher oil fields. There is also the building of an oil refinery, which is in progress. The planning is in progress, and also the construction of 1,443 kilometers East African crude oil pipeline that has a full production of 216 barrels per day from the oil fields all the way to the Tanga port in Tanzania. Final investment decision made on 2nd was for the development of the oil fields and also the construction of the East African crude oil pipeline. Construction of crude oil pipeline will need some finances. Even other projects will require some finances. And after the final investment decision, the shareholders of the East African crude oil pipeline have started to search for the financiers for the project. The cost of this project has also increased from 3.5 billion to now 5 billion. This is a jump from the original cost, which was 3.5 billion. The reason as to why this cost has increased is because prices of various commodities had increased. Remember, the planning of this project started some years back, and with COVID-19, cost of most products, including steel, cost of shipping, and even cost of loan has increased. So this has made the budget for this project to be adjusted upwards to 5 billion. The shareholders are expecting financing offers from a number of export credit agencies from Europe and also from China. The ESC can opt to offer direct lending or act as intermediary for loans. This decision has not yet been made. The financing of this project will be split into 60-40. 60 will be in form of debt and 40% will be in form of equity. This means that shareholders have to raise $2 billion between them, while the remainder of this will be raised through loans from banks and other international lenders. The ECOP shareholders include Total Energies, which has a shareholding of 62%. We have UNOC with Uganda with 15%, Tanzania Petroleum Development Corporation 15%, and China National Offshore Oil Corporation (SNOC) has a shareholding of 8%. On its part, Tanzania Petroleum Development Corporation, according to media reports, has already disbursed $80 million, which is about Tanzanian shillings 184 billion. This is part of its first cash call and their commitment into financing the East African crude oil pipeline. And this is part of $308 billion that Tanzania is expected to pay in the construction of the period covering the next 3 years when the project will be constructed. Tanzania plans to pay cash call every month until the completion of the project. The amount to be paid every month will be determined by the size of the activities in a given month. The project is facing some challenges. Finding financiers. The huge amount of money required means that the shareholders or the partners have to look for sources of funds from various sources. As we have seen, Tanzania has committed some part of money, which in form of equity, but to be able to contribute the whole amount, it has to borrow some funds from financial institutions. So here, East African crude oil pipeline has been facing some challenges in sourcing for financiers. This is one of the factors that has led to delays in making of financial investment decision. Already some European, American and Australian banks have walked away from this project. This is due to a lot of pressure that is coming from civil society and also environmentalists who claim that the project will have some serious socio and environmental effects. 4 of South African 5 major banks have said that they will not support the East African crude oil pipeline in Tanzania and Uganda. This in addition to the banks or financial institutions from other countries. The NGOs have been very vocal in opposing this project. One of them is Bank Track, and they have confirmed that the 4 South African banks will not participate in these funding. These funds are ABSA, FirstRand, Nedbank, and Investec. They have said that they will not back this project because of the effects they are about to pressure from these NGOs. It's only Standard Bank of South Africa that has been left. It has not made a decision yet. If East African crude oil pipeline is to beat the deadline set by some financiers concerning when to stop funding of fossil fuel project, then it has to secure this financing by the end of 2022. A number of international financiers and governments will not finance oil and gas projects past the end of this year, so they have to move on quickly to get support that is required before the expiry of this duration. In total, 15 commercial banks have committed not to finance this project. So in terms of getting financing, the partners are limited. There are also some reports that African Development Bank had accepted to support the project, but this has been denied. So while denying this, the bank stated that it has not provided any finance to any private sector company for upstream oil and gas pipeline project in East Africa. They also stated that they have not made any commitment to fund the East African crude oil pipeline project, and the project is not included in the bank lending program. The bank strongly committed, they say they are strongly committed to the renewable energies, and they are committed to facilitating the transition to low carbon and climate resilient development in African countries across all its operation priorities. So with that statement, it means that African Development Bank will not be part of those financiers that will be lending money to the partners involved in the construction of East African crude oil pipeline. South Africa Standard Bank is the only bank that is still holding on to the option of financing the project. It has been advising the government of Tanzania and Uganda on the project for the last 5 years. The bank analyst says that the bank may opt into involvement of the project based on an environmental assessment report that is currently reviewing. The bank officials have said that participation into the funding of the project will be subject to findings of the assessment on environment and social due diligence, and that process is currently being undertaken. They have also stated that their decision will also be guided by the equity principles requirement. The equity principle requirement are financial industry benchmark for assessing and managing the environmental and social risks in the project. This risk management assessment tool provides a minimum standard for due diligence, and it has been adopted by the bank and financial institutions, where they commit not to provide loans to project where the borrower will or is not unable to comply with the requirement for protection of social and environmental resources. The Standard Bank has explained that equity principles project finance deals are subject to due diligence assessment that will inform the decision making process, and it will cover various aspects such as legal, technical, security, market, as well as environment and social risks. There are 3 major French banks which have committed to fund other projects outside East Africa. So the question is as to why they are not committing to funding this project in East Africa. One of the main concerns as far as financials are concerned has been raised by environmentalists. One NGO, Banktrack, has said that East African crude oil pipeline will emit 34.3 million tons per year of the carbon, and they argue that this is an amount that is almost 3 times higher than what is being emitted by 2 countries currently. There are also other problems with the pipeline, and there's also potential impact on communities and wildlife around the areas where the pipeline will pass. There are concerns on compensation for those who have been displaced. They claim that it's not being done properly, and they also fear that the project will impact forest, wetlands, and biodiversity in general. They're also quoting climate risks, demand risks, and legal risks, and these are bound to make financiers and other uh, parties to think twice. There's also the aspect of insurance, which might be setback. Some major insurers have withdrawn, and this makes the project to suffer. So this project is already facing some issues, so, and we hope that these issues will be sorted out so that the project can continue. So thank you for watching this video. Come back and have a look at more videos. Thank you.